Okay, so it's 4 a.m. on Friday morning, and I swear to God, time is going so fast. I was like, I woke up at 2, and then, well, I'm still wanted to get up and go to the bathroom. So I got up, and I was like, ugh. But then when I went to go lay back down, it was just like I just kept thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. And then I keep having these weird, totally uncomfortable things. The other day, my toe wouldn't stop hurting. Today, my finger, it's like the weirdest shit. And, so anyways, I got up. I had looked at my phone when I got up with her. It said 2. So I was laying in there. Then I got up. And I don't remember what time it was when I got up. Maybe it was 2:45 or something. But anyways, I haven't even been doing anything. I looked on my phone some. But all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock. It's like, what? How did that happen? And one thing, hold on. I've got this. This is my 3rd cup. And it's really hot. But sometimes I just want to keep drinking tea. Um, so I have a bunch of little things. I don't know where they're gonna go, but my brain started feeling really full. So, anyways, let's see. One thing that it just keeps cracking me up, and I would assume you have to be on social media to see it, but there are the funniest videos. There was this SNL skit a long while ago when Kristen Wiig was on it, and it would show these 4 sisters that would come out. It was supposed to be like, I don't know, sisters that would be like on the Ed Sullivan show or something. And back when there was like these singing groups, and so all those singing sisters or something, and so they come out and they introduce themselves and they sing real pretty. I'm Holly, I'm Nora, all this, you know. And then this one comes out and she's all ratchet and crazy, and that's the Kristen Wiig one. And so the other ones are real glamorous and beautiful and sophisticated. And then she comes out and she's all like, doo-doo-doo. And then, so I can't even tell you how many videos they are making of that. So it's that little, that's the words, the background, the music or whatever to the videos. There's so many of them too, and they are so funny. And I feel kind of mean to be laughing at somebody else's expense. But anyways, I said Katy Perry is being roasted like fuck, man. Man, like when these people go, when they get on the grill, boy, they start getting, boy, people just go in. And so they're making all these videos, and they've got, usually Taylor Swift is one of them, Holly or Nora or whoever. So she's one. And they have Beyonce as one a lot. There's some other singers, I don't know who they are. One I saw had a Miley Cyrus. So they do 3 singers going out, and they're doing their show. And seeing, you know, and seem all sophisticated and stuff, or, you know, put together. And then, so they go through those 3 names, and then the last one's Katy Perry. You know, I don't know if you've heard about her recent, well, after her astronaut moment, then she went on tour, and I don't know, she said she's trying to build off of her astronaut stuff, but and then there's other people saying, well, she's been on those for a long time, or I don't know for how long, because the side effects is muscle loss and bone loss and stuff like that. And so this person was saying all these people that you're going and paying these big tickets for who have been on that stuff, they can't perform, they're too weak, and that they can't move and stuff right. And she even when she was singing her songs, she only sang like the first of them. She didn't sing it past the middle. She just had the audience sing them, so she wasn't even finishing songs. And then her moves are so stiff. They are so much like that Australian break dancer lady. And so she moved weird. Her whole show was weird. Every clip I've seen, I'm like, oh my God, who the hell? Like, what? And it's so ridiculous. And especially, I don't know, she seems a little old to be having this cartoon kind of stage performance. It's like, okay, well, maybe that was cute pop star kind of thing, but isn't it time to kind of grow up? And they put these women out in these most ridiculous outfits. Like, I can't even, I'm just going to come out in a leotard with a lot of stuff on it. And then they just wear stupid costumes. If I was these people, I'd want to design my own. I don't know who the hell's designed them. If these are the people are picking them themselves or the managers or whoever, but they're stupid looking. And so she has ridiculous costumes on. And the last concert, which was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, where the video kept going around where she was like shorting out and her one eye, she couldn't keep it open. She had to like push it open. And it was like, oh my God, what in the glitch is going on with her clone or her robot person or whatever. And so that's resurfaced too in some of these videos where that's the one. But a lot of them do with her dance moves in this concert. And if, Jesus. And if it is from the O's, that, it's kind of sad, especially because so many of these people got like rooked into it's probably in their contract. Well, when we come up with a new one of these, you're the first one on the line. You get 50 million a year, but here you go. You're test subject number 22834. And so who knows? I mean, they do go and do all this shit, take these weird stuff and get surgery, all this weird shit all the time. And I still, I mean, the more that she is brought up all the time, I just keep on being, well, what is she doing about her apple cider vinegar? Like, is she very into that? No. So I said, it's ridiculous. It's like their managers, their accountants, their whoever these people are who are in charge of them, they make decisions and stuff. Like, well, this is a good investment. This is what you need to buy. But then they give them, they're not really doing anything with it. It just goes in the hands of some other corporate overlord, and then they fucking fuck with it. And so, she bought the best apple cider vinegar, and then everybody was like, well, there it goes. It's all gone now. Which, yeah, it's just, the whole thing is just, I don't know how to explain it, but hopefully you see what I'm talking about, because I can see it so clear. It's like they are the extension of the system. Like the system exists through the way that people behave or interact or something. So it's like them doing this stuff, it has, there's more relevance to our whole society of them taking us in this direction, which this was what I saw this morning where I was like, oh my God, my brain just feels full. I gotta go talk about this. So hold on a second. It's so hot. It is how these people see everything so backwards. It's really weird. And it's like they see it backwards because they block themselves from seeing the truth, because their biases won't allow it, because they've already dug in and they're seeing it from, what is that called? There's like a war in the trenches. The soldiers would dig into the trenches. It's like that's what these people have done. They've dug into the trenches and they can't see the whole thing. And so that's why I say, like, their part of their awakening is going to be extreme, because they've dug themselves into a hole. And like this girl is, hold on, let me finish this. So this girl, she is going over the executive orders, which, at least, she's looking into stuff, but they don't understand, because they don't understand what he's doing. They don't understand the movement that's happening on the planet. They don't understand any of this stuff, and they're trying so hard to hold on to everything, and everything he's taking apart, they're freaking out. And so, and they don't have any clue what's going on, but they're out there talking about it. And so she was out here, this long thing talking about, and she's going down through this whole breakthrough of these executive orders and stuff. It's all based on fear and confirmation. And then she says, I think what it was. So she is looking at it all backward. Oh, it was because just on the, yeah, just on the likes. Just on the likes. I don't even know how many views there were. Just on the likes, there was thousands. And I looked in the comments. I said a comment that either I'll get attacked or laughed at. But in all the comments, it's like all these people, that follow along. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Some of these people who have a platform right now, who are getting attention, getting people to hear them, they're talking backward. They're talking about shit they don't know. And then they have a whole train behind them. That's why I said, it's like they take that train right off the cliff as all this stuff happens. And see, it's like they're the light bringer of the wrong. Like they're going in the wrong direction, not seeing things clearly. Anyone who is attached to it or a part of it, it's like an entanglement or something. It's like their souls are a part of it too, whatever their lessons or whatever. But that's what I'm talking about, that these people who are out here saying all this stuff, they have all these thousands and thousands and thousands of people listening and following along, getting all pissed off and go, oh my God, I didn't even know that. Oh, God damn it. And then, so they're creating this, I don't know, it's kind of a chaotic anger or something. And, but they are going in the wrong direction. They're not seeing the stuff. They have no clue. And so it's, that's where it's going to have this, when this occurrence happens, whatever it is, that all of a sudden, when they see, and then they are seen by everybody else, though, of not seeing. So they are making it very public that they don't see really what's going on, but they're very outspoken about it. And it's all based on fear and biases of like, I don't like this person, and look what they're doing. We got to get him out. And so they're just so focused on that. And so the ones that she was freaking out about, so there was some stuff in there where, and see, they're gonna be talking about, and I'm like, hell yeah. And they're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So the one that she was first going in on, because for some reason this scares the fuck out of all these people, that they think that the Christians are going to suck them into, where it's the world. It's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. Because all of a sudden I just got this, this pop off of, this other, the progressive world that is created. It's like, oh, that's all good. Walk around naked, be this, be that, be a cow, all of this weird shit. And that's all like, yeah, this is the way we should be living. Everybody get on board. What's wrong with you, you fucking racist? And then when they start bringing up like, well, we're going to go towards Christianity or something, they're like, oh my God, they start freaking out. They're going to make us all Christians. It's like, what do you try? Like, it is the weirdest thing. So anyways, in these executive order things, so starting of, July 4th, this year, then, which they all, because now we're in this year, that don't forget, was their proposed agenda with this number on it, the year we're in. So shouldn't we be a little deep into their agenda at this point? But that's what they're basing their stuff on too, is this agenda, which was just a projection or like a simulation. It was like a conjecture or something, like we think this could happen, and if this happens, this could happen, more like that. The other one that ends with a 30, that starts with a 20, that one was written long time ago, and you can clearly see that the things that they said they were going to do, they've been doing them. And it had to do with the generational divide, had to do with all the stuff that they've been doing to get control over us. And this was like where they were trying to head us, was they wanted to collapse the economy, only take us into where it's like social justice payment. Like you have to do what they say in order to get paid, kind of. In order to live right, you got to do what they say. Otherwise, we got maids, just go get one of those things and get out of here. Or we'll just, chop you up and eat you. Which I was like, man, I wonder if it is partly like they're not sewing these into people, they're just consuming them. Like there's some, I don't know, it just gets so weird about this whole organ thing. I've always been weirded out about it. So, but, there's obviously a market. It's just like, but why? Like, what? Oh, like, it's so weird. And it trips me out so much, too, how this isn't real, but it can go that far into it. You can get stuff cut out of you. Like, they can take stuff out of your hologram. It's weird. So, but it's all like this illusion. But it's weird because it can be even when you're not seeing, like the people are disappearing, getting cut out, it's weird. So anyways, in this thing, so in July, we start a year-long celebration, and it's going to go until the anniversary of that in 26. And it is our 250th year anniversary. And so he said, like on this one article, she was bouncing through these executive orders, looking through the government pages of the different things that they were saying. And so she was saying that the 2026, let me think. I was seeing it for a second. Well, I'll go back over here. So on the so on the Christian thing. Okay, so on the celebration thing. So on the celebration thing that, there's more there's something about Doge and stuff too. Their contract is going to be up or something. And these people, like, when they're talking about, they talk very Elon and those teenage boys. If they're really teenage boys, then they're teenage boy geniuses. Like, what? Yeah, he just rounded up, went down to high school. Hey, guys, you want to come over here and help me go through the government shit? It's like, it's weird. It's like, it's very down, like trying to reduce it, like to minimize, I don't know how to say it, but trying to make it like it's, God, it's bad, or I don't know, trying to make it, I don't know, it probably comes from their news, how the news talks or whatever. So the, but the celebration on this one page too, and it said you can start going into, and we're going to stuff about the history of this place. It was some other stuff. History just stood out to me. But so there's going to be, like, even on this page she was reading, you could go down and look at videos. And she said, it was about history. And she said, I didn't go look at any of them because I'm sure it's all propaganda. And I'm thinking, I wonder if this is where we're going to start hearing the real history, the real truth about, the history of here, the history of man, the history of the whole thing. And, but see how they look at it is like that, they're pushing an agenda, because she said, she's reading some of this stuff and she's like, it sounds like he's making his own constitution. Like he's going to take us out of the constitution. And he's making his own. And I'm like, so in my comment, I said, we're on corporate law and we're going off of that, going back onto the Constitution. And not only that, what was the other one? I said in it, the federal government's leaving, because she was like, she's so much holding on to the feds, the federal government, like, oh my God, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And I'm like, see, this is where people hold on. Like, oh, we need this, we need that. It's like, no, that's going. And there was another thing I said in there. And I also said the currency is going too. There was another thing I said in there. I can't think of it. But also yesterday, I saw a woman who was freaking out because she and everybody else at the grocery store, at the gas station, at the bank, this whole thing was going down. Nobody's cards were working. and you could only get a certain amount of cash, and it was a whole weird thing. And she said, I don't know if this is just in my area or this is these banks. I don't know what the hell's going on. And she was like telling people, go get your cash out, go get your money, because I don't know what's going on. That's the thing, is people keep thinking, yeah, just go get your money. No, it's like they don't understand the currency is going. Like, if you hold out money all day long, it's going to have no value. It has no value, and that's what's going to be shown to us. And so that's one thing that they don't see, they don't understand. And so then they panic. They panic over being shown the government misspending. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. And how they're so against Elon and stuff and his teenage boys. And then another thing that he was saying was this bringing back, I don't know, she was saying making it, it's something, I can't remember how I worded it, something about we're going to go back into a freedom of religion or something like that. And she is taking it as like, we're going to be all under, they're trying to make us all into Christians. We have to all be Christians. And we're going to be under a new constitution or this dictate, all this stuff. It's so wacky because they have no idea what he's doing. And so, because to me, over the religious thing, it's going to be more bringing back like the thoughtfulness of, like the thoughtfulness of, what is that word? I saw it for a second, and then I saw a whole bunch of other words. But the thoughtfulness of having morals, a moral compass, having, you care about what you do and what you think, because they've created this world where people don't give a shit. People just walk over people. They don't give a shit. If they can get what you got and they can, they can take it. And our world is full of broken people. That's the thing too, is, I was thinking last night before I went to bed, I was like, or maybe I don't know when I was thinking it recently. I was thinking it is impossible to love people and to have real love relationships, real loving relationships when you don't love yourself. It's impossible. And there's all these, girls talking about, like, nobody wants to date, nobody wants to go out with guys, the guys are still all broken, they are just still trying to play the same games, and the girls have all gone towards healing and not wanting to play games and all that stuff. So there's another division shift right there, in which it's gonna, the guys are gonna start healing too. It's not gonna just be the girls. But it is the time of the divine feminine, so she's going to lead the energy. She's going to go in this direction because it's natural instinct, because it's already programmed into us. And so we're going to go towards this, desire to feel better, to have better boundaries, to set our standards higher, to all of that stuff. And but in that cesspool of dating and stuff where everybody's super toxic, the people don't love themselves. And then they go out and they get married and they get in these relationships and stuff and think it's going to solve their problems. But you are with somebody who doesn't love themselves. You don't love yourself, or you wouldn't be in the same kind of bind, in the same energy field as them. So then the people want to put it off on the other people to make them feel better, but you're empty. You're an empty vessel of insatiable needs of somebody to make you feel better, because you don't know how to feel. You don't know how to self-soothe. You don't know how to make yourself feel better, and you don't like yourself. And so there's so much in these toxic relationships where people think, they're such a dick, they're this, they're that, they're the worst person and all that. But really, it's just all these people that don't love themselves and are broken. And that's really pretty sad, really, when you think about it. And how we all blame each other. Well, it's your fault, it's your fault. And we're all just broken. Everybody's out there. I see it kind of like a whole crowd of people, all like on some on canes and broken legs, broken eye, everybody's broken. And but they're all blaming everybody, they're blaming everybody else. And so it's just a bunch of finger pointing and crippling along. And So that's going to be the abrupt change. This is the change where the the old system, the old ways is blowing up. And so this is the time of the divine feminine. So the feminine energy is leading the way. It's the nurturing creation, and it's going in this new direction, this connection to nature, connecting to yourself, just being yourself and all that stuff. And which being yourself is very uncomfortable when you don't like yourself. And so it takes healing to be able to be yourself and like yourself and stuff. So anyways, we're still at the part before not everybody is on to the healing. It goes like in segments or something. And oh man, my back is hurting. Like I'm trying to sit up to sit closer. So, anyways, so when they're sitting there saying like, well, they're going to bring Christianity back, and they're going to make us all be Christians. They're going to put us all under one religion. I hear freedom of religion is it's going to be like, just, it doesn't matter. Just get in touch with that side of yourself. And it's not going to be like the one true religion. You can only be this religion. It's going to come back on the people. What do you worship and stuff? I think that probably is partly of how the breakdown starts to happen in the religion, because the people start having it go back on them. Like, is this what you really think? You really think this is good? You really think people should burn in hell? You really think, and all that stuff. So it's going to get people to think deeper into their stuff and get them to reevaluate. And so, but it's going to be more about, so where I hear freedom of religion is like, it's time for our souls to come on. It's time for our truth to come out and for us to be seen as what we are and who we are. And so we're eternal beings. And so we're going to get more focused on that part of living. But these people are all stuck in the three-dimensional, and it kind of scares them or something. And they feel super controlled because they want to, go out and do, like our life should be a fucking cabaret of drag shows and sex shows and shit. And it's like, well, you got to realize that the darker pedos were the ones who were trying to steer us in that direction, and you guys are just, you're out there driving the taxis for them. It's like, no, you got to stop. You got to think about what you're doing. Is this really good? Is it what have we done in our society? What's happening with the kids and the people? And kids have become so cruel, so cruel. Like, fuck, man. I mean, you got first graders in there sexually assaulting other little first graders. You got them girls and boys. Like, nowadays, you go to a slumber party, it's like, Jesus Christ, somebody's gonna get their ass whooped. Somebody, like, you're gonna get jumped. The rest of it's like a big, oh, let's invite so and so, and then when she gets there, let's all just beat her up. It's like, what the hell is going on? So many of these people like doing other kids in, and it's just wacky. And that's the kind of shit, we got to keep seeing. Are we going in a good direction? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like we need to take an abrupt far right, not like, oh yeah, far right. Yeah, it is like a big turn. But the thing is it's not about actual right or left. It's about the direction. It's about what's up ahead, what's there and what's there. And yeah, I don't think everybody wants to go live in a sex show and just have sex just thrown down our throat. In here in Washington State, this lady was just talking about, she went to the doctor. She went to take her 14-year-old to get the physical for probably sports for joining school. And when she went in there, the doctor had her leave the room. And so she was like, okay, well, it's probably okay. And the daughter wanted her to come back in. The doctor's trying to talk all like, is there anything you need to tell me? Anything at all you need to tell me? And she's like, no, but I want my mom to come back in here. And so whatever went on in this appointment and stuff. But the thing is that the office, the corporation, removed her daughter off of the stuff that she could see. So in the medical records, now the mom can't access them because now it's a 14-year-old. And it was like, so they treat these kids who live at home. This is my state. And I'm sure there's other ones too, because this is like a movement of the progressives. And so this kid can be living under your roof for 4 more years legally in their fucking laws and shit, or their fucking rules of what is acceptable. So you got 4 more years, but you can't know anything about, and especially at this time, during that time, like like if a girl is getting pregnant all the time and going down and getting those things, and the people doing it, they're not going to be telling them all the bad things. Well, you're going to probably end up being sterile or having a lot of issues and stuff. And, a mom would want to. A mom would want to talk to her daughter. But no, they're taking all this stuff like, no, it's none of your business. And then they're pushed to try and get them to, do you think you're a boy? What do you think? You want to talk about it? It's like, what in the fucking bullshit with these people? Because they make all this money. Like, I was thinking about it today as on the CHEMO, and how, let's order another round. Let's order another round. Another round of kickbacks. And it's just like, oh my God. And some of these doctors, especially where there's so many people that have the C, and which is the P, so many people. Just to get all the kickbacks these people are getting. They're getting so fucking rich off of us being sick. And they just order another round, Sam. It's like, come on. So, anyways, so I don't hear any kind of fear thing about the religious thing. I don't feel like they're going to take us and they're going to put us under this umbrella of that. I don't know what all the shifts have to do, but I know we go for our sovereignty. We're not going to be put under that. So these people can be in fear. It's like, we just left. We're leaving the most controlled thing, and it's like, they're sitting here holding on to it in fear of what's ahead, that's going to be controlled. This is what's controlled. You got to let go of this. Up there is where freedom is. And yeah, it's going to make you uncomfortable because you don't know what it fucking looks like. And so it's coming. You can't recognize what this guy's even doing. And so, yeah, when they're saying they're changing all this stuff here, it's, they're going back on the Constitution. We were taken off of it already. And these people they're trying to take us off. They're trying to get us fucking on it, dude. They're trying to get us off the corporate law, their Constitution, their rules. They're trying to change that and get us to see that these people have been controlling us and that they are going against our rights, our human rights. Confirmation. And so but the people, this group of people is fighting against it. And so on Donald, and he's out there every day talking. Yesterday, I guess he was doing one of those commencement things at West Point, or one of the, I think he's doing some Alabama college in West Point or something, that he's doing the commencement thing. So of course it's all, big speech thing and stuff, and him talking every day. Every day he's out there talking. He's very interactive with the public. And it's like, why can they not even see that? It's because they can't stand to look at him, and they can't stand to hear his voice, and they can't stand to even open their minds to he could be doing anything good, because that would turn him into a racist. Which, I want to say something about this. This topic is something that, can be taken the wrong way so easily. But I think it's something that, because I feel like racism is like turned inside out. And so I want to talk about this because it was something I just all of a sudden really noticed yesterday. So I left yesterday morning to go get some water and got a couple of donuts, which is so good. I swear to God, I could eat donuts every day. Warm, sweet bread is just like, So and so soft. Oh my gosh. So I went and got those. But anyways, when I pulled up into the parking lot, a guy was pulling into this car, and so he was getting out of his car as I was pulling in. Oh, I was pulling in this way. So he was pulled to here, and I was pulling in this way. And he was getting out of his car. I just looked over at him, looked back to what I was doing, and then it was a black guy, and started walking in. So this whole thing went through my mind. And it was almost like, oh, you better smile. Otherwise, you're going to think that you don't like black people. And And I was like, well, that is stupid. And what if you don't feel like smiling? Like, I've got things in my mind. What if I don't feel like just smiling at somebody randomly because I don't want them to think I'm racist? And I was like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's the racism. All these people, like, they've got to make sure everybody doesn't think they're racist. So you go be nice to people or smile at people or whatever because you don't want them to think that you don't like them. And it's like, but really what we're doing is really focusing on it. Like, we should just, every single race, every single person, we should be able to just walk by them. It should be nothing. You know, it shouldn't be like, oh, there's a black person. Oh, better smile. They're gonna think, oh, there's a Mexican person. Oh, I better let them know I'm against eyes. You know, it's like all this fucking social justice. I gotta make sure everybody thinks I like them. It's like, you don't even know them. You don't know them. Why are we all sitting here looking outside of ourselves? Well, like, if they don't smile at me, they must not like me. Why are we doing that? And but I think that is the part of where people are stuck, is they just keep focusing on race, which becomes racism. Because then, why are we focusing on race? Why can't we just focus on being human? And why do we have to, you know, oh, there's one that's a different color than me. I better run over and make sure that they know they're accepted by me. Why? Why? Does that make a difference in their life? It's like, it's weird. We've got things so out of balance, so wacky. And because what really should be to have a world that is truly not racist, we wouldn't notice. We won't care. We're just humans. Doesn't matter what color you come in. Doesn't matter what size you come in. It's just like, we just don't pay attention to that when we're focused on it all the time. And even when people think they're trying to do good by being nice to people, then you're overextending yourself, which is drawing attention to the fact that they are different than you. It's like, we got to stop doing that. We got to start just, you know, all of us love ourselves. If somebody looks at you and doesn't smile, we got to be thinking, well, they're probably having a bad day. Maybe I should smile at them. Hey, have a good day. You know, maybe we take it on instead of taking it on. But is a trigger, but when you have triggers, you got to go into your trigger and process through it. So when you do, you know, you're out somewhere and somebody doesn't smile at you and it breaks your heart and you don't even know them, then you have to go in and look at yourself. Like, why would I be bothered because a stranger doesn't give a fuck about me? It's like, don't they have their own fucking business, their own orbit, their own world, their own reality? And we just come to these places and cross paths. And when we cross paths, it's all at this exact moment in time. And, man, it's so crazy how I'll have so many things flying in my brain at the same time. I'm trying to keep focused. So you have all of these, okay, if I just go off of that, hold on. So anyway, racism is stupid. It's stupid that we pay attention to shit like that. And it is definitely still paying attention to shit like that, even when you're just trying to be nice. You're just still noticing the difference in everybody. And we got to come to more of a space where we just don't notice that stuff. It doesn't matter. Who cares? And that doesn't mean, like I just saw this other video with this person who was talking about this guy's post. And so he was a black guy who went on a date with a white girl in Mississippi. And it is weird. It's very weird, this conversation thing. So he goes out with this girl, and they have some great date. So then she starts texting him and saying, you know, I really like you and I want to go out with you, but my parents hate black people. And my last boyfriend, they tried to get him put in prison and stuff. So let's just keep it on the down low. And then he's like, well, maybe if your parents meet me and all that stuff. And so this whole conversation. So anyways, it goes towards okay, the parents are going to meet him. They've agreed to meet the guy and give him a chance. And so they go out to dinner and stuff. And somehow he sees text on her phone between her and her mom. And that's where it got real weird. Like, I don't know. Even, like, it's weird because she was saying the way the conversation, well, well, I don't know, he doesn't really fit in. I don't know if he could really work for us. and we'll have to see more. And the but she's like, she doesn't want him to see him, and the daughter's like begging that she wants to see him. She really likes him. He's fun and stuff. It's the whole conversation's really creepy. And then the mom started saying, well, we'll see. This summer when we go to wherever, to Milwaukee, and we're there for that thing, you know what I'm talking about, then we'll see what happens after that. And all this like weird shit. In the plus the way she was talking to her, like, you don't want to be dating a black guy in Mississippi, and there was something that was very like blue blood controlled. How things look. It was very creepy. It was very much like that movie Get Out, it seemed like. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's those people out there, and they do go and get in other bodies and shit. So, I don't fucking know. It was creepy, though. And this guy was telling people, like, watch out who you're dating. He said, I won't date out of my race anymore. It's too fucking weird. And it's like real weird. Like, what are they planning on doing with you? Taking your body and stuff? And, but that is true in a lot of different cultures. They want to stick with their same people. And so I don't think that that necessarily has to do with just race or the color of your skin, because a lot of the people in the different groups have different tones to their skin anyways. They're not all exactly the same color, because there's racism in the black community over the darker skinned people. Like, they want to be the lighter skinned people. I really hope it goes back to the froze. I saw a girl who was posting back in the, I don't know, 70s or something, when black people were more into freedom and natural, and the whole picture of all of these women that were standing out there all had these big froze. It was like, God, I love that hair. Yeah, I did not understand it when they started doing all of this, like these, like trying to turn their hair into like this plastic to try and mimic this kind of hair. And it's like, y'all have cool hair. Like, why would you try and mimic this hair? This hair is not perfect. I mean, nobody's hair is perfect. But I mean, when you got hair like that, and then you want to fucking, like, I didn't understand that. So I do hope it goes back to that. I think it's cool as shit hair. In that there is so many more girls that are wanting to do more natural, be more natural, and stop feeling shame about themselves. Like, there's a lot of girls in that culture or whatever, that the braiding their hair. I just saw this one of this girl. She was a white girl, and her hair was jacked, man. It was so damaged. It was so fried. It was so thin. And which I'm sure it was like extensive coloring and poor nutrition. And so constantly damaging her hair, and then not having the nutritional minerals and stuff inside of you to replenish it. So her hair is just like fucked up. And this is a hairdresser's video showing it. And so he does these little cross things all over her hair. And so it wasn't necessarily braided, but it was like woven. Took all her hair and wove it and attached it with these beads all over her head, which to me, like, oh my God, the headache that would give me, no fucking way. I just, like, are these girls, like, even when I see these people getting these little braids and shit, is like, do headaches not have a thing with them? Do their scalps not have feeling? Like, or did they just get used to it? They just are like, well, that's the price of beauty. A lot of pain. It's like, Jesus. But so she had just jacked hair, like no hair. Then he did all these things. And then he took these extensions and wove in and gave her this big old thing of hair. And, and as the girl, I'm sure she, it helped her give her confidence and stuff. But it's an artificial confidence. And it's also a band-aid. You're masking what the problem is. Like, your hair is falling out, breaking off. It's damaged the fuck out. And you're just hiding it. You're masking it. And when you should, to me, it's like when you start noticing like your hair is becoming damaged, it's like you got to think about what's damaging it. Am I coloring it too much? Am I got poor nutrition? Some people don't, like, some people color their hair, but they don't go in every couple weeks and color it. Some people do go in every couple weeks and color it. Like, they want no darkness. And that's kind of a whole thing that they sold people to. Like, man, did it even, where did it start? Marilyn Monroe, where everybody started bleaching their hair and stuff. I don't know. Blondes have more fun. You got to be blonde and stuff like that, which I bet you like 95% of the population is probably dark haired right there. It's like, well, that's weird. Blondes have more fun, but most people are dark haired. It's like, that's a little strange. That seems like a little bit of a propaganda. It seems like they're trying to lead us into discomfort, make us all change ourselves. So anyways, but it seems to me the better way to go is to look at your nutrition, look at yourself, and start trying to figure out, like, oh my gosh, if my hair is being sick, then probably there's more inside me being sick, and I better focus on my health. Which my mom, man, she is getting her ass kicked from something. She came back, she got sick from being around somebody who was sick there. Sneezing, coughing, runny nose, like regular sickness. And so she came back and was sick because that kid was sitting on her lap, coughing in her face and stuff. She comes back, and so she's sick. Then, and she's had her jaw has been the TMJ thing, this tight joint, which so many people is like this. And you tighten these muscles and stuff, and so it gets like a muscle spasm kind of, and she's having a hard time chewing, talking, anything that moves her jaw. So she's got that going on. That has been killing her for weeks now. And we went and got her some CBD stuff. She's rubbing that on. She's trying a bunch of different things, but it just keeps bothering her. To me, when I was having mine was bothering me, I was definitely, having a lot of tension, but moving this lymph right here and doing this. So you take your, like this, and you pull, and you keep rubbing and pulling and rubbing and pulling. And I've told her, and she keeps doing it and stuff, but I don't think that she, I totally gets what I'm saying about like the lymph and the energy that gets blocked there. And so I just saw this video also of this, it was two women. One was the daughter and one was the mom, and you would not even, this mom, and she was Oriental. I don't know, which, North Korean, South Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, yeah, I'm not sure. But so she, beautiful looking lady, and she is 72 or 73. I'm telling you, she looked like she could walk through high school and nobody would notice. Like, she had, her skin looks flawless. And plus she had that like young kind of mentality or something. She didn't seem like, oh, I'm just gonna go get my pills. I don't know, she could be on medication, I'm not sure. But anyways, so the daughter was saying, my mom's gonna tell you exercises to do on your face so that you can keep looking young and get rid of the wrinkles and stuff like that. And this mom, and the mom couldn't speak English, so the daughter's translating what the mom's saying. Just the one video. So I'm sure they're going to do a whole bunch of them, because the one only showed this one thing. And the mom said, you take these two fingers and you do this, and you pull and pull like this. And she said, when you do that, that takes away these lines right here. And so you keep relaxing this muscle and pulling it down. But she said that same exercise. And so she's gonna have some more, but there's a lot of these Oriental women on TikToks and stuff that show these exercises, because they do have some kick-ass skin. They do have, like, man, they are like pretty ageless looking. And I don't know, I'm sure it has also to do with their lifestyle. The Eastern philosophy lifestyle is a lot different than the Western. And and one of the things I just saw, this girl, and she was talking about why you shouldn't eat salad, and she was explaining it wasn't just chi, it was other Must be Archie in the tent. Hopefully not a rat. So, not just chi or something. She was saying other things besides that. But when you eat it, something cold and damp, your body isn't. That's like putting something that's the opposite of your body in it. So it's really hard to digest, and it's not good for you energetically that you should eat stuff warm. She said over here where they are, China, Japan, or whatever, they don't ever eat salad. It's very rare because it is raw stuff is not a match for the energy or something. She was talking about the dampness and stuff. So, but see, they live in a different kind of way, and they're way more about plant medicine and stuff like that, even though that they can go kind of off, because that also like drives the, going and poaching tusks and stuff, some of their stuff, going and poaching tigers, because they have some stuff that is some of those places they eat monkey brains and shit. Like some of those places they fucking eat dogs. Like they have there's lots of places that show like about I don't even know what they're called. Meat. It's like the same thing as like we have with farms with cows, and some people with rabbits, chickens, and all that. Only they have them with dogs, and so the dogs are just raised for food. So, so I'm not saying like they're perfect and we should just be like them. Everybody has like different things, but we don't like every culture has different things to offer other cultures, but you can't just like shove it down somebody else's throat. And it's like every person, not even just every culture, but every person gets to come to their own realization. And that is a big part of the awakening, is coming to your own realization. And it's going to be in all these different things. Like, you can't tell somebody, well, we just shouldn't eat dog. Well, you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. Like, we could all go in on somebody over what you should or shouldn't do. It's all depends on how you grew up, where you were raised, what was the culture that you were raised in. And so and that's where we become judgmental of each other, when each soul is here to have its own experience so that it can learn from its own stuff, learn from its own mistakes. And so we're not supposed to be like interfering and trying to be the boss and tell people how to live. And also, I just saw this video of this guy, I think it might have been in Kansas, whatever, it was in the farm community, farmlands, and he was digging in his property and ends up finding a temple or something. What it's not called, not a coliseum or something like that, temple or call, underneath. And it is the whole thing, and it's got these big pillars made of limestone and stuff. Like this whole big thing is buried under his land. It's a big old thing, and he thought, he's got the find of the century, but they've buried it. This is what they've been doing for a long time, just burying shit. But it made me think like, oh my gosh, this place. It's funny too, because they try to make, America was just discovered. Well, it was obviously discovered a long time ago, and you guys have tried to hide it and bury it. But it made me think like, how many things are underneath us? Like, I know they made that whole tunnel system from the worlds that were below us. It's almost like, how did they get all the dirt, the mud flood? How did they get all this dirt to cover it, cover everything? Because if there's tons of these big temples and shit, pyramid, like, there's no telling what all's under us. And that one time when I was out walking in the forest, it was after that one guy had told me the area I was living, it used to be like a mecca. It was like 30,000 people or something living in this one area, just like in the 50s and 60s. It wasn't that long ago. And I'm telling you, because I was living before in Maple Falls. It was so small. The grocery store that they had in town, most of the grocery stores were just the gas station. This one was a little grocery store. It was so small. I mean, my mom's living room was bigger than it was. And there was no other, there was a weed store There was just a couple of buildings, a coffee spot. It was really small. It's like, but I think the population is more like 5,000 now. I don't know, it could be 7 or something. But they have a big problem with how they did the roads and stuff with evacuation. So they've already loaded more people in there that can really evacuate in crises because they have not set it up. They've set it up as a trap, which I noticed. Like it kept coming to me, like it kept being brought up to me to where I started being like, fuck, man, this is a trap. Like, you are, shit goes down, you're stuck here. And where's the stores? Like, you're fucked. And you don't get along with these people, like, you're fucking fucked. So, anyways, but I would go out and walk around the forest with Stella. And when I was out there walking us one day, I was looking around and I was thinking, man, it's so weird because all these people, 30,000 people, had to be living somewhere. Where's the remnants? Where's the homes? Where's the stuff that they were living in? Where's the stores that they went to? Where did it all go? And but when I was walking through the forest and we're walking on these paths, and I started being like, this isn't a path. This is a road. This is a road where they used to drive the cars, and they didn't have like how we have roads now. These little jalopy, how I see it is like this little I see this little milk truck kind of jalopy thing going bouncing through the thing, when the road's just big enough for them. And when there's 2 cars coming, which would be rare, it'd be like they'd pull. But it wasn't like high traffic or something. And but so they were, I started looking around being like, oh, all of this, all this stuff in the forest is what's hiding it. The houses are underneath this stuff. It's like they've let it all grow over it. And so all of what it was is hidden. And then all the people around there don't even know. And so that's kind of like, I think, what they do everywhere all the time. But when you are like out of a whole fucking huge giant ass temple under there, and then they want to hide it, all I can think of is like, how many more are there all around us? How much, maybe that's something that some of the different communities will do, is dig out some of the old stuff and start living in that. These old fucking cool limestone buildings and shit. Which there's more weird stuff with that. The people who are onto the Tartaria stuff and the weird buildings and shit like that, when they're showing that, it is very strange how some of them became like, why were there so many asylums? Why was there such huge asylums? Like, how many fucking crazy people were there? Like, how were people this crazy that you had to lock them all up in these asylums that hold like 10,000 people and shit? This giant building. And is that just a big lie? But they did use some of these buildings, because even here they have Eastern. I saw guys showing Western, and so Western would be the state government asylum on the west side of the state. Ours is called Eastern, just like our colleges do, university, Eastern and Western. And so Eastern is it's funny because Eastern is the college and Eastern is also the asylum. And then over there is Western is the college. And I had a daughter go to the Eastern, and I had a daughter go to the Western college. And so and I worked at Eastern. No, I didn't work at Eastern. I worked for, but I went to Eastern as, because I had to go see my because it was when I was working for the county, and I had a client in there. That's when I was in there. So I wasn't being a nurse there, but I had to go see my own clients there, and also in the wards at the hospital for mental stuff. So I'd have to go into there and see them. But so I was in there, and it is like, when you go up to it, it is like this really big. They've used it in movies and stuff. But the other day I saw a guy showing the one in Western, and it is such a Tartarian looking building. And he's like, why would you build this big fucking building like this for an asylum? Like, what the hell? And it's so elaborate. And then he found another one in boys' school. I don't remember if it was in Tacoma or someplace over there, another big ass fucking, no, it wasn't even a boys' school, it was just a kid's school. And it was like so crazy. It was like, yeah, who would build this for a school? Like, so I don't know if they're just telling us that we made these for asylums, and then, you know, thinking that we wouldn't think about, like, well, damn, how many crazy people were there? Or it is that they just are, you know, full on lying that the building wasn't an asylum. But now they do have some of them as asylums. So this place is so full of lies. And see, that's the thing, is that's where we're going, is to, into this truth. The truth is coming out. So that, you know, isn't this like, what the hell? This makes no sense. Which, the moon did show back up, not last night. Didn't see it the night before, though. But, so, on the sky thing, so if we're at the land right here, and then up here is the sky, and so the moon, sometimes it would be over here. When it was coming out, it could be over here. Then it would be over here sometimes. Sometimes it would be over here. It was like, you'd be over here at 9:30 at night, and then the next night it's over here at 9:30 at night. It's like, okay, this is weird. And then it kept disappearing, where it's just like, where the hell is the moon? There's no fucking moon. And but now it returned, and it's been, I don't know, a week and a half or 2 weeks or something since the last time I saw it. And it came up, so the land's here, the sky's up here, there's trees going, so it came up over here. So it was over here. I swear to God, it was like around 9:30 at night or something. And it was just the sliver over on this side, and it was all the way down in the trees, where you think, well, it's either rising or setting. Well, guess what? It was setting. It just kept going lower. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, what the fuck? And it looks so weird looking through the trees in this crescent and lighting up through the trees and stuff, and it's down so low. But I have seen that since I've been here another night. Where it's like, that is so weird. And it does not appear anywhere. It's way down here, and then it just dropped down, and the color that was changing too. So that's just weird. The whole thing is weird. Everything is weird. And it's weird how so many people want to hold on to this weirdness. They don't want to let go. But, so, anyways, I got the truth coming is all of these things, all of this stuff being leaked out and stuff. You know, like, there's buildings underneath us. They're hiding all this stuff. They're hiding everything. You know, the truth is buried. And, but also, there is not this, like I said, it's not like a linear thing. It's not like it all goes together. It's different time periods, different ages, different experiences. And so, in all of them, all different realities, just like over there, Maple Falls, whatever, 40, 50 years ago, where it was built up, 30,000 people. That was its own reality. Every place, that situation was only during that time. You'd only experience that during that time. That's what everything is. It has a time. It has a window of time. That's what your time is. Your window of time. That's why your age doesn't matter. You're counting down your time is worthless. It messes with your mind, and it's like you counting down it's like the count to aging. It's what they've turned it into. But your age has no significance to the to your life experience. Like, I just saw another, and this is so common, where people think like, you know, it was a near miss. You know, if I just would have went 2 minutes sooner, this would have happened. No, that's not how it goes. Yeah, if you would have went 2 minutes sooner, that's where you would have been, because that's where you were supposed to be. But you're always where you're supposed to be, and everything is set on this timer for all the different all the interactions. So you can't go to and be at the wrong place at the wrong time. When you were at the wrong place at the wrong time, it's because it was the right place at the right time. What was meant to happen has happened. And people keep thinking like it's near misses. They just escaped. Oh, they just saved them and stuff like that. No, It's like everything has a set time. And I saw somebody talking about their son was in this near miss of a car wreck, and how thankful that she was that he stayed that extra few minutes at her house and didn't leave because it was this bad car wreck. And he passed it, he saw it, and I don't know, it was the talk of the town, and so she was all worried. But then she got a hold of him and found out, and he had seen it and stuff, but he had missed out. So then people are, oh, so thankful, like that you weren't there at that exact moment. Well, if you're there at that exact moment, it's because you're supposed to be there at that exact moment. What we want to consider near misses, like we can look at it as like this is the universe showing us, so to remind you of gratitude or whatever. But also, I think it's important to get it into your mind. Nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. Every single moment of your life it's set. It's prearranged. It's like, and there's fear of death is such a inflated fear, because you don't die, and everything that happens is meant to happen in your window of time. And it's almost like that they start programming you to fight against life as soon as you come into the picture. And so I think it's important to just learn how to relax and just be like, well, wherever you are is where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be over there when you're over here. And you can project and think, well, I should have been there. I should have done this. I should have done that. I think there's so many people like, what was that? I think it was in a movie I was watching, and somebody's kid had gotten killed, and the person was freaking out, well, I should have been there. I should have been there and stuff. It's like, no, that is what you're here to experience, that you weren't there. And so everything is a set experience, and no matter if you want to think it's like weird or whatever, well, you're a part of how it becomes to exist. You're the creator of the experience. It's not, even though I think that there's kind of these template things, like it seems like they're templates of experience, and then it's like, what do you do with your templates? It's kind of like, yeah, I see it in a few different ways. Kind of like getting like we all get, okay, it's not all the same basket. Like, okay, but say like say you had like 10 templates of life, and so each template had a basket of containment of what the experience is. So it comes with this basket of what the experience is. And so it's filled with all these little experiences. Or another way I was seeing it is those paint and sips. And they give you one picture to paint, and everybody's paintings come out different looking. And so it's kind of like that. So the template of life, so you go into the experience, and everybody who chooses that experience has like their basket. But it's kind of like we all set our tables different. We all bring our different things. We all do things a little different. And so it's not all like exactly the same. So that is why it's kind of like, what do you bring to the table? You go into this template, but what do you do with it? What do you do with this experience? How do you handle it? And so we all have our different ways of learning and growing and handling the different experiences. But, like there's common experiences, like tons of people have been sexually assaulted by relatives. Tons of people have been abused, and tons of people have hateful fucking moms, like that are just so hateful. There's all these different experiences. So many people had dads that abandoned them as kids. So many people had dads that were not ever there for them. Like all these templates of experience. Like there's tons of people under those umbrellas of experience. Like when we start sharing stories, it starts being like, fuck, and everybody's comes from some kind of abusive thing, some kind of thing. But there's only certain ones. There's only so many, Like there's tons of people who have been had this certain experience happen, but it affects everybody in different ways, and we all go at it at different approaches. And my approach is like to see the bigger picture, to see the more spiritual thing about it, and then to heal, find a way out, find a way to feel better, to make yourself better, not be a product of your pain. Instead, it's the champion yourself in order to win the victory, victory of experience, confirmation. And so it's there's value in the difference of how you turn right and I turn left. Like we go in our different paths, and then when we share, we can learn from one another's different stories rather than just be judgmental telling people how they have to live. Because it's so crazy how people have their own issues, but they don't focus on those. Instead, they focus on that guy's and trying to tell him how to live. And it's like, well, we all have our own shit to focus on. We really don't have time to be telling anybody else how to live. And when we find ourselves thinking that we know how someone else should live better than they know, then we need to look at ourselves as like, why do we feel like we need to control everybody? And I've been going through that, like with my brother being sick and stuff, because it's like, why won't he just try this? Why won't he try that? But I don't know his experience and stuff. And my frustration isn't going to be fixed through him. My frustration is going to be fixed through me. And so, yeah, if he suddenly started doing all that stuff, then it would be like, oh, okay, I feel fine now. but anyways, you can't force somebody to be or do what you want them to do or think or say or whatever. There's some stuff, here comes Archibald. There was some stuff that I thought of yesterday that I was like, oh, dang, I wanted to say that. And then as soon as I start talking, then it's like there's just such a rush of stuff. But there was some more things, because there's a lot of stuff going on. But just when you hear this stuff going on, just try and look at it from like the positive perspective, because they're all so caught up in the negative perspective. They don't see the positive, but we're going towards this positive. Like when they're, as this girl said something about, trying to take down this government thing, and people don't get, they're taking down the corruption. So when you start looking at it, it's like, oh, another one falls, another one bites the dust. Well, another good thing is happening. Instead, they're all like panicking. Oh my God, he's destroying the country. No, he's getting rid of the corruption so that we can live freely. And he's been saying that for a long time. It's not like this is just new. It's not like it's the whisper. No, it's been, that was even what he ran on before. It's going to drain the swamp. So, the people, they don't see. But yeah, the federal government's going. We're not going to have these these overseers, these people who, what is that? Because they overstep all the time, this government overstep, this control. And so the federal, there's no point to it. There's no reason. Somebody's got a tootie booty. So they've all been having like a tootie booty for the last couple days. But Stella, she wants to eat every couple hours. Like she's just stuffed full. She's already been out and gone poop a couple times. Like, girl, I keep telling her, you gotta stop eating so much. But no, she's hungry all the time. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh yeah, because I was also gonna say that about my mom, because yesterday she was like, oh, all her joint, everything was hurting. I said, that was happening to me the other day, and I just drank some bentonite clay because it pulls the toxins out. So I'm curious to see if it helps her, because she did drink some last night. But then I came downstairs. But to see if it did pull the toxins out, if it did make her feel better. Oh yeah, we got a plan too. We're going to start the garden, only we're going to do raised beds. I'm not going to go out and try and rototill all that stuff and all that. So just going to go and, but that's going to be costly. It's also going to help her, though, to get more, for each year, to be able to do it easier than go out and have to rototill, bury all that shit, fighting the weeds and stuff. So, but it's going to be an expense, because you got to buy the containers, you got to buy all the dirt, and I think you put sand and rocks and dirt and stuff. So, So it's going to be an expense. So hopefully, because now we got all these plans of all those stuff we want to grow. So, anyways, that's what we're going to be working towards. So hopefully she feels better today, and we're going to go out and start doing some out there and getting ready for getting it planted and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be an expense. So anyways, I'm going to help with that though, since I'm here. And so I'm going to buy her some containers and stuff. So Stella's got the poor little tootie booty girl. She probably got a tummy ache yesterday. Archie, because he stands up on 2 feet all the time, starts doing this little dance. It cracks me up. And he stood up, and so he was right here on my leg, and he started farting his head off. Like, it was the funniest thing. So, anyways, so I'll see if it did help me, because I said, well, you're breathing in. She's like, I don't know what's going on, because I know some of it is the energy, like the head, the feeling out of it, feeling like what's going on here. Like there's some of that is to do with the energy, but the aches and stuff like that, that can also be the density and stuff, but it can also be the poison. I said, well, we're poisoned every day. And she said, like, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm poisoned. I said, well, I would take that bentonite clay then and drink it, because it pulls the toxins out and gets rid of them. And also charcoal, cloves. So there's different things that do, but anyway, so we'll see how she's feeling today. But what was the other thing? It seemed like there was another thing too. I can't remember. It's just like there's so much stuff going on. But anyways, yeah, the federal government's going down because it has no reason to exist, and it's only to control us. And we're no longer going to be comfortable being controlled. So all the things that are trying to control us is going to be exiting stage right, and it's going to be over. It's curtains for them, man. And so the feds are going to be going down. All these things that are ways to control us are all going to be being dismantled. The more that we feel like, no, this is uncomfortable, I don't want you telling me what to do. And then it's going to go into smaller community. Like, I think it will even be state for a while, but this is showing how corrupt all these governors are. Like the fucking nonsense going on in Washington State and stuff. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're going to treat a 14-year-old like an adult? Like, this is madness, man. And plus, 14-year-olds, sometimes they need the safety net, and not all of them hate their parents. So it's just like the government has no business. They have no business any of this shit. But it's each person has to see, like the education department, and it's got to see from all different sides. Like teachers have to see it's bullshit. Principals have to see it's bullshit. Education department, like everybody's got to start seeing, so that we create the change that we want, because it's all some bullshit. And people just play their parts and play their roles. And it's, in this awakening, it's time for you to question your role, question why you're doing this, what you're doing. And they have so many people in this world that are just following orders, just do what you're told, and we're going to give you a paycheck for it. And I mean, and that goes in the micro macro, because that's basically the same as Katy Perry. And she's just getting so roasted. I guess apparently she's taken, and so much of this is just part of the show, and she's taken off now, and everybody's bullying her, and she thinks everybody's being so mean and stuff, and so that just brings up more people talking about more shit that she's done. And the same thing that they were doing to Blake Lively. I think they did to Amber Heard. There's a lot of these people that they do it to, and it's probably going to be more. That's why, to me, it's like, well, if you're in a certain status, like, come out humbly. Come out as a humble person, not as a, I just paid $50,000 to go in 11 minutes in space, so I'm an astronaut now, and I'm just so glad to be back on the Earth. And the whole thing is such a show. It's not even fucking real. Like, that's AI. There's people who have been getting pictures with the footage from the Pope, and he's got 3 hands. So that's AI. He's got a hand that turns into merging fingers and stuff. So like it's AI. He wasn't even sitting there. There's so much of our shit is AI and so fake. There was uh the chat GPT says, that's a part of the whole awakening thing too. Okay, girl. I'm sure she let out the air. Now it's time to fill her back up. So, anyways, I'm just kind of rambling anyways. There's more stuff, like there's lots of stuff. All I can say is just try and look at it from just what if possibly this is something good, and try and see the good in it, so that you stop being like so scared and fearful, because it's not like he's not trying to take us into uh, uh, a religious sect. He's not trying to turn us into, he's the government overlord and stuff. He's trying to take us into claiming our own sovereignty, claiming our own freedom, and taking a stand in our life, having morals, having more authority in our own communities, standing for what we want and being a part of stuff. It's like this merge of humanity. It's like this flipping. It's a total flip of where we've been and where we're going. But that's what we're going. We're going towards this better way of living, better way of life. But it comes from us. Like, you have to, start your flipping, start questioning things. Question why you're doing this. What am I doing? And then when you hear all of this stuff going on, like if you get all caught up in it emotionally, like some of these people, well, then that's your trigger. That's the part you got to look at. And so many of these people are going to see how it's like when things start turning, that's when they're going to start realizing their own biases and their own fears and stuff. So they're going to have those things to face, even if they're not facing them right now. Still to come. I mean, they're putting it right out there on the chalkboard so everybody can see, and in front of thousands and thousands of people. And so, anyways, that's all going, but that doesn't mean that they see the right thing, because they don't see so many things, and they're basing it all on like that they hate this guy. They hate this guy they've never met, and they hate him, so he can't be doing anything right. So, and their media is just fucking with their heads. So there's going to be, I swear to God, there's going to be class action suits, huge ones, against the media from some of these people, because they're going to start being like, fuck, they were fucking lying to us and tricking us. And they're going to be in a sense of humiliation and need somebody to blame, and which there is blame. Like, these people are purposely manipulating you, and but I do think that the states and stuff, we're gonna go more to community rules and even the states, because that's why I think that we got so much coming out to show all of the corruption in the government with their governors, mayors, police chiefs, sheriffs, like all of this shit, like. So it's all gonna fall apart, and then it's like we gotta pick up the pieces. But it's kind of like they're preparing people to not let it completely fall. There's people here to pick up the pieces and start walking into roles and uh, stuff. Like now, as things fall, there's people that are coming into place, and so it's gonna keep falling apart. And these people are going to keep freaking out, thinking he's destroying it. It's like, no, he's getting rid of the things we need to get rid of. He's cleaning out the goddamn garage and making room so we can pull in our nice, new, shiny vet, So, anyways, that's how I see it. So, um, when you look at it, however you see things is how you need to see them. You need to just question yourself. Why do I see this? How do I see that and stuff? And, am I seeing it because the news told me? Am I seeing it because everybody at work says this? Or, what do I see? And even when they're going in, and trying to look and do research and stuff, but they're still seeing it through a dark perspective. They're not seeing it through a perspective of light. So, anyways, there's just way more that's going to keep playing out. And, uh, and on the thing that my mom, with the podcast and stuff, it was talking a lot about this power outage and stuff. But there's a lot of people saying like that we're headed for one they're going to do the same thing. That was like the test to get ready. They're going to do it. And don't forget, that is a part of showing us something too. So it can be a lot of things. It can show you what you need, what you don't need, what you do with your time and stuff. And whatever it is, it's going to be what comes up in you. But just remember, to have food that you don't need to cook. Have something you can eat. You don't need to cook. And so my mom and I were talking about that because her podcast was saying that. And I was like, yeah, that's why I said you got to have food that you don't need to cook. That's why I got peanut butter and crackers and stuff. So anyways, she started thinking about that, like getting goat cheese and stuff. So you got to have some stuff that you don't need to cook. Because if they do that, if they do take the power down here, then, it could be days, it could be, a week or something, who knows, but there's going to be a lot of people who aren't prepared, and it's going to set out panic. And also make sure you have propane. If you have a grill and you have propane, you can cook on your grill, but don't try and fill your fridge full of stuff, because then once the power goes out, you got a bunch of rotten food. So you got to it's just a way of thinking of things different, to just look at it, things different. It's the preparedness. It's not, and the preparedness makes you not be fearful, and it makes you not panic. It makes you just be like, oh, well, we're not going to have power for however long. Just eat these crackers. We'll be fine. It'll come back on at some point or something. The shift's going to keep going in a positive direction. And we're going to go to a different thing with the energy. And because I was even thinking about just all the pollution from gas and stuff. Because he's all drill, baby, drill. Which, yeah, well, if we're going to be living off petroleum, we should have our own. I've always thought that was the weirdest thing. So we've got all this oil, but we're going to go pay them for our oil. Like, I could never understand that. And so, anyways, that will be flipping. That's where we're going to go back to being a strong country. And that's the thing that these people don't get. It's like he's bringing industry back. And like that one guy, he's like, oh, he's bringing back, so now we're going to be working at iPhone places. If people are killing themselves together, why would we want to work in a bunch of warehouses? They're just trying to control. They see things so different. It's like, when they're talking about this stuff, AI is going to be doing jobs like that. We aren't. The more that you go into your skills and stuff, the more you build on you and your skills, the more independence you have. You won't be working in any motherfucking manufacturing places. So, but they're also going to be people being trained to run places and stuff, to be able to, it's going to be people who are more specialized, more trained and specialized in certain things. And we're not going to be doing all this, like, this labor force of enslavement. And it's going to be machine run. We're going to be a lot more free. So everything is, I don't know. Just when you hear these people talking and they're all just scared and fearful and, oh my God, and this and that, and he's destroying this, he's destroying that. It's just like, oh my God, it's so wacky. It's like they are the energy that he's fighting against to try and get us to where we're going. But it's still going to go, because it's going to get, it's like, yeah, I see it kind of like we're all picking it up and running with it. And so the energy's going to go no matter how much they try and block it. We end up where we're going. There's no thing that can change that. That is set in stone. Everything is set. It's how we get there, and how it plays out is the unknown to us. It's not unknown to the whole universe. The universe is watching to watch it play out. We're here to experience it playing out, but we already know in our heart of hearts. That's why you can go in and ask yourself, like, what is your future? Like, I know mine has to do with this change and going into this. And so you have the answers inside of you, and you just got to look for them. So anyways, somewhere in your heart, what this is all about. But you have to break through your programming and break through what everybody else thinks and stuff to find peace of mind. And then, when you are like talking about like, well, this is what I feel. And they'll like think you're so crazy. Well, I don't see that. I don't see that. Well, it doesn't matter what anybody else sees. Go with how you feel. And get so many people want to fix themselves from the outside. No, everything is inside of you. Everything is go in, going in. I completely get that thing about the way out is in. Everything is in you. And everything is like changing your perspective, changing your view, changing. It's the changeover of you. It's the growth of you. It's the development of you. And we've been stifled for a long time. And so, anyways, I just keep talking and Stella's licking her lips. So, the hair situation, which my nails are bright. I'm going to have to get the biotin too. That stuff alone, my nails are not. So, I don't know. Because I always think, well, is it going to grow for a while and just fall out again? So, I don't know. And then this thing just keeps staying with this little bump. Hopefully it's just a remnant, but there's definitely still a couple of little things in this one. But fuck, my eyes have just improved so much. And the tooth is, oh, look at that. I always like it when it gets to the light part. It always starts to be like, oh, that looks pretty good. When it gets to the dark part, it's always like, dang. But it just keeps going through these phases, these steps. So, anyways, just remember, I gotta get to business with feeding the animals. So, just remember though, what we're doing is learning how to love ourselves. It's a stage of development. Learning how to love yourself, then learning how to love everybody else because it's possible. And it's not just like loving everybody. You don't have to love every stranger. It's just a common respect, just a common caring, you know. It shows an expression of love, and our love has been so broken for so long. So we have a whole thing about healing love and understanding love to really get to experience love. I don't think really very many of us have ever experienced love, true love, real love. I think we've all been broken trying to find love. But so we're going into a world where we get to feel and express and experience real love. So, like, how can we not want that? So, learning how to love yourself is the first step. Learning how to love everybody else is next. And figuring out how to have the day you want to have is taken by the focus that you focus on. So, these people are going to have a miserable day who are focusing on the world's being destroyed. But when you can see the truth, you can see what's being built, then you can have a good day. So, have a good day, and we'll talk about it again tomorrow. Bye.